What's up, everybody? It's Jake Alexander, the voice in the void, the lone wolf, your favorite host for the list, host of the Twee'quel podcast. Listen to me. I'm no podcasting expert, but if you believe that you can put together a podcast, but you don't know how to get it going, then hey, I've got just the place for you to start. Go to Anchor. I promise you, it can't be any easier. Number one, it's free. You don't need any money to get started. Number two, all the tools you need right there at your fingertips on your phone or computer. Number three, distribution. Hey, they do it for you. Spotify, Apple, Google, and so many others. Everything you need is right in one place. Trust me, if I can do it with Anchor, so can you. Download the free Anchor app today and get started. And don't forget to follow the Twee'quel podcast, and I will see you in the void. Saturday, March 19th, we're talking The Atom Project, Turning Red, and a bunch of Marvel moves. Plus, today is my birthday. All that and a lot more. I'm Jake Alexander, and this is the Twee'quel Podcast. What's up, everybody? It's Jake Alexander, the voice in the void, the lone wolf, your favorite host of the list. Hey, man, happy Saturday. And I thank God it's Friday. It is Saturday. It is March 19th. It is indeed my birthday. I am feeling great. I don't care how old I actually am. I don't care what they tell you. I feel great. I'm doing good. I hope you all doing good. Like I always say, I'm happy to be behind this mic, and I'm happy you all tuned in to listen to this pokey little podcast. You don't have to be doing it. You could be doing a million other things. You do not have to be listening to me, but you are, and I am so happy that you are listening to me. Yeah, man, it's Saturday. Like I said yesterday, I had a funeral to go to for my great aunt. Um, and I had a lot of stuff I had to do yesterday, and I didn't have time to actually get behind the mic here at the vault and do what I like to do, but you know, make time for it. And here we are. It's Saturday. I'm making time for it now. I'm doing it. I do it because I love it. I do it because you love it. You love it because you listen to it, obviously. Yeah, today's gonna be not a long show and not a short show either. It's gonna be just a regular episode. We're gonna be talking about Talking Red. Not Talking Red, Turning Red, new movie on Disney Plus. The Atom Project, new film on Netflix, and both of them are kind of the same movie. But I'll explain that later. We'll talk about my birthday being today. I'm gonna talk about that. And we got some stuff in the news, so let's get to it. First up, now I don't like starting off the news with, the passing of people, out there in the world, but, sometimes you have to. And today we're going to start off the news with actually the passing of two specific people that are very well known to myself. William Hurt and Scott Hall. Now, William Hurt, if you don't know who that is, an actor, big time in the 80s and 90s. Mask of the Spider Woman. I think that was the name of the biggest movie in his career. If you haven't seen it, I might be saying the title kind of wrong, but yeah, watch that movie. He's actually really good in that. But most of you new nerds and most of you folks nowadays, you might remember that he is General Thunderbolt Ross inside of the MCU. Now, I keep being told, and I don't agree with this, but I keep being told that the Hulk is the first movie in the MCU. It's actually the one that led off the MCU, even though it debuted a month after Iron Man. That's a fact. You can look that up. That's why I said I don't agree with it. But if it is true that the Hulk is actually the first movie inside the MCU, then technically William Hurt as General Thunderbolt Ross is the longest standing main character of the MCU. Even though he's now passed away, it'll probably go to somebody else. It was rumored and actually confirmed not too long ago that they were working on returning William Hurt as General Thunderbolt Ross into the films at some point or another. If you've been paying attention to a lot of the movies, you can see that they were setting up the Thunderbolts as a group, and General Thunderbolt Ross is part of that group. He's one of the leaders of the group at points in the comic books. So now that William Hurt has passed, who knows where that may go? They may still do the Thunderbolts and just say it's named after him, this, that, and the other, in honor of William Hurt inside the MCU, which would be kind of cool. I still want to see the Thunderbolts on the big screen. And Scott Hall. If you don't know who Scott Hall is a wrestler. That is the man's real name. If you know anything about wrestling, or if you're a wrestling fan, his main character was not just himself when he was in WCW and TNA, but he played Razor Ramon back in the late 80s, early 90s, up until he left and came back. But he was just such a fantastic wrestler inside that ring, and a genuinely nice guy outside the ring. He had his dealings with alcohol and drug abuse, and as of late, he had kicked it thanks to the help of another wrestler, Diamond Dallas Page. It was so nice to see that he had not so much beaten it, but you could just say beaten back the addiction, and he was clean, he was sober, and he was getting right. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2014. It sucks because now that's just another person that I don't get a chance to go see. He was very active on the wrestling circuit, going out to meet fans and do autographs, especially after he had gotten sober and gotten his life back on track. And it's just like Roddy Piper, just another one of the guys I should have. The last time I saw him, I was so close. I should have gotten his autograph, and I said I'll get it next time because there was other people I wanted to see more. But it sucks that they're both gone. But it's kind of hard to transition out of that into more nerdy fun things, but that's what we're going to do. The Batman is now officially at $500 million plus at the global box office. Now, I said it. This movie was going to blow past 400 million easily. And sure enough, here we are 2 weeks after its release. We're on into the third weekend now. It's past 500 million. Me and Will talked about this when we were breaking down the Batman. Did we see it getting Spider-Man No Way Home money? We both agreed no. It would probably come closer to No Time to Die money, which is 775 million. I might have to change my tune, man. This movie might come close to that one. It may get close to 1 billion. I'm still saying it's not going to go over 1 billion, but I think it's going to go past that No Time to Die money globally. We shall see. Like I said in the review of it, this movie was so damn good. Go see it. It's a 9 out of 10. It was a masterpiece. Very great directing, very good acting. I'm so surprised at Robert Pattinson and everything else. Set pieces and design and everything else, just beautiful. If you are a fan of Batman, go see it. This is not a superhero movie because Batman's not a superhero. He's a vigilante. He's a guy dressed up who has a lot of gadgets and a lot of training. But he's not a superhero. Superhero means you have powers. He doesn't have any. But that doesn't matter. Still a really good comic book movie. How about that? Moving into sports. March Madness is upon us. Now, I myself am a Michigan State fan. You can laugh all you want to. I don't care. That is who I am rooting for. So root for who you would like to root for. March Madness is kind of weird this year because I think this is the first time that I have ever tuned into March Madness, and I think the field itself is almost completely even. I don't care about seeding. So let's see how this actually goes. We've already had one gigantic upset with Kentucky being knocked off by, I want to say it was St. Mary's. I forgot the name of the team already. I got to go back and double check that. But yeah, Kentucky's already out of the tournament, and they were a 2 seed, and that's still an upset. I understand that I just said that the field is really even across the board, but seeds kind of matter to a lot of people with all these brackets and, going around and all big money on these brackets. So, and I know a lot of you are pissed off now that Kentucky's out, but hey, that's how it is. I've never been a Kentucky fan anyway. So go green, go white. Hope State, does some big things this year. Still with sports, Baker Mayfield has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. So you might be wondering why that matters to any of you. So let's start off with why. So earlier this week, the Cleveland Browns made an offer to Deshaun Watson. Now, oddly enough, it seems like Deshaun Watson is going to sign with the Cleveland Browns after initially rejecting the Cleveland Browns. But in the background, Baker Mayfield, who was the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, saw all this going on, and right when he found out that they were making overtures to Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans, what he did was he sent out a post saying, hey, it was nice being here. I love Cleveland, this, that, and the other, and He basically understood that his days were numbered. So he had sent that post out. And the very next day, he requested a trade. Now, doesn't this seem familiar? If it doesn't seem familiar to you, here's why it's familiar. Isn't this what most of us are doing now? All the people who can do this now, we're basically telling our bosses, I got to go, right? After so many times of seeing our bosses kind of pass us over and, look at other folks for promotions and this, that, and the other. And we like, yeah, I understand. I'm good. I got to go. I'm just gone. And some of their people are just leaving their jobs. They're going elsewhere or they're going to go work for themselves. Man, the whole thing with Baker Mayfield and the Browns and Deshaun Watson and Baker leaving now and Deshaun actually signing, that's pretty much exactly all we're doing. Everybody's looking around to make the next move. And, God bless everybody that's doing it, because believe me, if I could stay home or and remote pilot this damn truck and never go out, and believe me, I would. I'd be a house husband in a heartbeat. I've said that before. But all you folks out there switching jobs, God bless you. If you can do it, do it. If you can make more money somewhere else, go make some more money somewhere else. Or hell, if you don't want to make a tiny bit, or just less money so you can have a better, work-life balance, do that too, man. Take care of yourself out there. Amazon is now into the movie game fully. I mean, like in a big way. So it was announced that they paid $1.8 billion with a B, ladies and gentlemen, to buy out MGM, the entire studio. So now they own MGM. They own so much IP now. They're basically doing exactly what Netflix is trying to do without the cash reserves to do it. They're turning themselves into a movie production company, not just a streaming site. Netflix has been doing this for a long time, right? Making their own original content, not really shelling out money to bring in new IP. This is pretty much what Amazon is going to do, right? They bought MGM, they bought the studio, they bought the folks that know how to make movies, know how to get content and make it so they can put it on their own streaming site. With them buying MGM, they own the rights to Stargate, they own the rights to James Bond, the entire franchise of that. Amazon's not kidding. They are going, I think at some point Amazon is going to pass Netflix for number one streaming site on the planet. I've been saying this for the longest. I like Amazon. I don't like all their content, even though it's pretty cool. I didn't consider them the number one. I considered them number 4 on my list. I thought Netflix was number 1. I thought Disney had finally climbed up and become number 2. Tubi, if you don't know Tubi's free, and they have a lot, and I mean a lot of good stuff on their streaming site. And I had them at number 3, and I had HBO Max at number 4. But I guess Amazon's now number 4 and HBO Max is now number 5. So let's see how this all shakes out. I want to see how much original content hits Amazon Prime Video before the year is over. That'll let you know how serious they are about making original content, not just getting IP from MGM's catalog and sticking it on their site. I want to see how much original programming that they actually do, and not just movies, series as well. But speaking of Netflix and still talking about streaming, just this past Wednesday, all of the original Marvel shows that were on Netflix are now on Disney Plus. All the Netflix shows that Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and The Punisher, all those, right? They're all on Disney Plus, and they're all unedited. They did not edit anything out. Disney Plus rolled out this new TV mature rating. You have to agree to it under each profile, right? Under each profile, you have to agree to the TV mature rating in order to access all the unedited programs like the Disney Plus. Like the Netflix Marvel shows that are now on Disney Plus. And I think that's pretty cool. I was so happy when they said that they weren't going to edit it, and everybody was kind of skeptical. I was partly skeptical that they weren't going to edit it, but it seems they were right. They did not edit it. Now Disney Plus also got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that is edited. Now, here's why. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been edited so it's not so much the violence. You still have to do TVMA to get the violence and the big hardcore action that's not usually Disney, quote unquote, appropriate, right? But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been edited, so all mentions and all, kind of finger pointing back to the original MCU timeline with all the movies, all that's been edited out of the shows. So it seems that all the former Netflix shows are canon, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not. It's going to be a standalone thing, pretty much like Agent Carter, and I forget the in the Inhumans. The Inhumans is officially not MCU canon, which kind of does not bode well for our next topic, and I'll tell you why. So I kind of think that sucks because I always thought that the Agents of Shield was canon. I mean, you had Lady Sif, you had Samuel L. Jackson as the guy with the eye patch. The guy with the eye patch. You know what I'm talking about. My brain's going blank because I'm talking fast. Yeah, you had him show up. They had all of them show up. You had Coulson, who was killed in the MCU but wound up back in the show. They even alluded to the fact that Coulson had been brought back to life with some kind of tech, right, inside of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So how do they just erase Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. out of this? I think that kind of sucks because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually really good. But all that's now off of those original sites, and they're all on Disney Plus, so you can watch them all together. Now, what I said was, just now, the Inhumans are not canon inside the MCU, which kind of sucks. Why? Because Miss Marvel is coming to Disney Plus. Now, they just released her trailer. Trailer looks great, looks really good. I'm so happy for Iman Vellani. I hope I said her name correctly. They did a short little, her saying, hey, thank you for tuning in to the trailer, and I'm so happy to be playing Miss Marvel and Kamala Khan. And you could just tell she was so nervous, and she was just so happy to be playing this character. And I hope his show goes well. I think the trailer makes me believe that the show is going to be really good, really fun to watch. I'm looking forward to that just as much as I'm looking forward to Moon Knight, which is on the 30th. So that's 11 days away. Don't forget that. But the whole point with the Inhumans is that in the comics, Miss Marvel is an Inhuman. She gets her powers not because she's similar to Captain Marvel. She just idolizes Captain Marvel and actually superheroes in general, but she idolizes Captain Marvel. But she gets her powers from the Terrigen Mists, right? So many people on the planet have a genetic marker that when that person is exposed to Terrigen Mists, they become, they get mutant powers basically, but they are called Inhumans instead of mutants. They obviously they did not have this version of Miss Marvel inside of the Disney Plus show. It seems that she got her powers some other way, but there's a rumor that by the time she rolls around to the Marvels, which is basically Captain Marvel Part 2, but it's going to have not only Carol Danvers, but it'll have the young lady from Ms. Marvel and the young lady from the other movies, the black young lady. I keep forgetting people's names right about now. But all three of them are going to be in that movie, and they say that in the movie, The Marvels, they're going to retcon her origin, how she gets the powers from the show, which I think is silly. Just give her the powers, in this. Just come up with something. It's not that hard, people. Look, I'm not a smart man. I can write Terrigen Mist into this show. Just say you got it from outer space and it accidentally got out in her neighborhood somehow or another during transport, and she got a whiff of it, and she got powers from it. It ain't that hard to understand. You can write this stuff. People will believe it. It's a comic book movie. It's supposed to be crazy and fantastic anyway, right? So let's end the news today talking about E3. So the actual E3 event is being delayed. Now, EA Sports, EA Games, whichever one you want to call them, they usually have EA Play, and that's been canceled altogether. Now, it kind of sucks because E3 is, basically where you get all the electronics and you see upcoming video games and this, that, and the other. And within that, EA Sports, they had EA Play, and you got to see specifically their games. And there are about, I want to say 6 or 7 Star Wars properties that were supposed to be debuted over the last couple of years. And they kept getting pushed back, and we were supposed to see them all this year. And now that they've basically canceled all of that, we won't get to see them. So there's a lot going on in the background to where you have to cancel both of these events. And those events are huge, man. Trust me. If you don't understand it, get on the internet and look up EA Play and look up E3 and see how huge these events are. And the fact that they're canceled or delayed indefinitely, it's going to be crazy. I hope they get everything straight and they get to do these again, because like I said, they're big events and I like going to them. I went to E3 a couple of years ago. I had big fun. And EA Play that year was really fun too. A lot of good games came out that year that I saw. So, like I said, I hope they get everything straight and they get to, get these events back going. That doesn't bode well for a lot of other events, like Comic-Cons, stuff like that. Because if an event as big as those get canceled or indefinitely moved back, um, other promoters and other events are going to be like, whoa, like, hey, if they're stopping, if they're moving everything back, maybe we should too, until the whole pandemic stops. And I've said this before, it's not going anywhere, folks. You might as well stop running for the hills and acting like you can wrap yourself in bubble and be safe. This isn't going anywhere. You just got to live with it like the flu. It is what it is. I know that sounds really hard and callous, but that is the absolute truth. We're just gonna have to live with it and continue on. It sucks because I have lost friends and family to COVID, and I'm not trying to be really crass about it, but hey, I said I'll never lie to you, and I'm not lying to you now. That's all the news for today. I'm gonna take a break, grab me something to drink. When I come back, we're gonna talk about the Atom Project and Turning Red. The Atom Project and Turning Red. One on Netflix, one on Disney Plus. One a live sci-fi action comedy, the other an animated family comedy. On the outside, these movies have nothing in common. I was all set to do separate reviews, but then I realized something. These films are very much the same. The Atom Project stars Ryan Reynolds as a future space pilot returning to the past to set things right, only to crash land in the backyard of his 12-year-old self. Now, chaos and hilarity ensues that you can expect from any Ryan Reynolds flick. Turning Red is an animated feature that sees Mei Lin, a 13-year-old girl, trying to balance a life of being perfect for her perfectionist mother, being a top student, a good friend, and occasionally turning into a giant red panda. It's all the silliness and heart that you can expect from any Disney feature. And right there, right at this point, this is where they converge. You see, for all the differences you can point to, both films tackle the same two core subject matters. Firstly, finding the courage to become yourself, and secondly, the effects of parents on that choice. In the Atom Project, Adam, played by Reynolds and Walker Scobell as the younger version, is mouthy, sarcastic, and emotionally broken. He is that way because of the death of his father, who we later see as Mark Ruffalo, has driven him to be so. Adam and his father were already kind of distant before that untimely death due to their differences in personality. The death of Adam's father solidified those traits, with the older version of Adam telling his younger self that all the sarcasm and pent up anger only leads down a path of underachieving in a world that's 10 times worse than the Terminator. Scary. In Turning Red, Mei Lin, voiced by Rosalie Chang, is trying her very best to live up to her mother's gargantuan expectations of perfection. But all that goes aside after learning that the women in her family are cursed or gifted, your choice, with the ability to change into giant red pandas, just as their ancestors did. May is caught between that and simply wanting to be with her friends at a concert for their favorite band, Four Town. In both cases, it is the interactions with the parent that sends them on the course of the film. It doesn't matter if it's Adam's father or Maylin's mother. Both parents are so influential in the lives of these only children that their futures are dangerously and hilariously not of their choosing, until they begin to do so. The Atom Project and Turning Red are both explorations into the question how much of ourselves is of our own crafting and how much of it is due to the programming of our parents. Sure, one uses sci fi and the other uses Chinese, specifically Cantonese mythology, as vehicles to drive the narrative. But at their core, both films take a hard look at what it means to be children of overachieving and very expectant parents versus searching for and finding our own paths, even when those paths certainly diverge from what is expected of us. I gave the Atom Project a 7 out of 10. It's very imaginative, it's very fun, has a lot of heart, it tugs at you, it's a very good movie. But the ending is anticlimactic and it's telegraphed. You kind of see it coming. Turning Red, I gave 8. It's exactly what you expect from a Disney feature, and I appreciate the fact that they delve into a culture that I know very little about. I don't know much of anything about Cantonese mythology, and it was nice to see something new here for a change. But again, just like the Atom Project, the ending is telegraphed. By the time the third act starts, you know what's going to happen in the end. Now, both are streaming on Netflix and Disney Plus, respectively, and I suggest, honestly, you check both of them out. Watch the Atom Project and Turning Red with your kids if you have kids. They're uh, they're very fun to watch. And let me know what you think once you do. I'll be right back with the last call. So it's time for the last call, and before I get started with the last call, I want to say this: Kamala Khan, Monica Rambeau, Carol Danvers. That's the three characters in the Marvels that's coming out Disney in the MCU and Marvel. I don't know why I didn't remember that because I had it written down in my notes while I was recording, so I could have easily just looked over and read it right off my notes and told you. But I don't know why I messed up. My fault. But yeah, those are the three characters. Kamala Khan is Ms. Marvel, the younger one. Monica Rambeau is not going to be a Marvel technically. She's going to probably be named Photon. Or maybe Protostar. I don't know. She has a couple of names. She was the first to actually be called Captain Marvel in the comics, but that's now being attributed to the Carol Danvers character. So she's not obviously going to have Marvel in her name. I don't know how they're actually going to work that out. We shall see. Either way, that's going to be a good movie when it comes out. And like I said, they're going to use that movie to retcon Kamala Khan's powers apparently. So we shall see. So before we get out of here officially with the last call, let me talk about that. Today is my birthday, March 19th. I am 41 years old. I am very, very proud of my age. While so many people out here are trying their best to look younger, act younger, sound younger, and have everybody perceive them as younger, I am not one of those people. I am very happy with my age. I have fought many years to be the age I am. So many things have happened in my life where I didn't believe I would ever see 30. Hell, so much has happened I didn't believe I would see 25, quite honestly. And to have reached 41, to be at this point in my life, happily married, 2 kids, my own home. I actually like my job. Some of the people irk me to the core, but I actually do like my job. I am happy. I do have this podcast. I have so many other things going on in my life that I haven't really talked about here, but that's a whole different story. Like I said, I am very happy at this stage in my life when a lot of my life I did not feel very happy at all. Just yesterday, I had to say goodbye to my great aunt Kathleen. She was 103. Understand that? 103. Imagine how much she's seen in her lifetime. Just the week before, I had to say goodbye to another friend of mine that I grew up with. His name's Gary. A couple weeks before that, I want to say about 3 weeks before that, I said goodbye to my musical mentor. I talked about it right here. His name was Samaj. He was just a bit older than me. He wasn't much older than me. And a month or two before that, I had to say goodbye to two childhood friends actually. Quincy, who we all called Q, and another young lady who we all called Shug because she was just so sweet. Since all these deaths they've been back to back to back to back, and it's just a lot to deal with. And I've held myself together by remembering something that I learned from my mother and from my aunt Kathleen. Honestly, I realized just how much I've been blessed in my lifetime. You can't imagine the depths that I used to sink to in my earlier years battling depression, battling alcoholism, because the amount I drank was ungodly. Believe me. I was falling apart at the seams, and then somehow or another I woke up one day and a light turned on, and I followed that light, and here I am from following that light. So even though all these deaths and everything around me and so many things telling me that, hey, you should feel bad because you're getting old, I don't feel bad because I'm 41. I don't feel bad because another year has passed. I don't feel bad because I've lost so many people, and believe me, I have lost so many people in my lifetime. I don't feel bad about any of it. I feel blessed because for as the people that I've lost, I had them in my life for many, many years, and I am affected by their deaths, yes, but I am more so affected by the connection I had with them when they were alive and when they were right here, and I could touch them and I could talk to them. I am so much more affected by that than I am by their passing. I haven't really delved into this, and I will at some point because I think it's something worth talking about amongst ourselves. But I'm not a very religious person. I used to be, and I always felt out of place. But I do believe there's a God. I do believe in, that there's something after this, because it'd be kind of silly just to only be around for 100 years and do just this and then fade into absolutely nothingness, right? I do believe that there's something after this, and I believe that once I cross over, once I shake off this mortal coil, once this brown skin goes back to the dust from which we came, as they say, I shall see other folks, because I believe all life is just energy, and I believe that energy transfers into something else. I see it every day. I know it's kind of hard, and I know that's deep for this pokey little podcast to be diving into on the last call, but I believe that I see it every day. I see my son and my daughter, and I see my mother and my father in them, and it's hilarious. It's not scary, but it is so funny, and I know that their influence, not just because of their personalities, is there, but because those people are constantly watching over me and constantly looking after me, and they're trying to steer me toward better choices, and I'm making as many as I possibly can. But yeah, man, it's my birthday, and I was feeling bad early on yesterday after, around the time of having to attend my great aunt's funeral, but I'm not. I got over it very fast, because my great aunt's daughter, my aunt Sarah, she was the one there, and she was up front, leading the charge at the ceremony. The one child that's always there to take care of everything during times like these. And she was there, and although it, sucks, obviously, to have to say goodbye to your mother or bury your mother, she still had so much strength, and that's the same strength I saw in my mom when I buried my mom's mom, my grandmother, and that strength carries throughout my family. And I won't dishonor the memory of my great aunt and my friends that have passed by wallowing in the woe is me, and I'm getting older, and I'm 41, and yeah, I have a little gray hair, and I don't care about none of that, because for all the gray hair I got, I'm still strong just like them. And if you want to test me on anything, go ahead. Feel free to to test whatever theory you want about me, and I guarantee you I won't just pass it with flying colors, but I'll come out on top every time and knock you on your ass in one fell swoop. So it's time to get out of here. Usually for the last call, I have a drink for somebody when they pass away, or I just have a drink in general. But my auntie Kathleen did not drink. She didn't drink. She was a very, very religious woman. You didn't want to try her. She believed in God, and she knocked you upside the head with a Bible in a heartbeat. So she didn't drink. So I don't have a drink today. But my great aunt Kathleen had a thing for yams and cornbread. So what I am going to do is I'm going to say goodbye to you all, and I am going to go to the kitchen and make myself some cornbread and yams and a handful of other things, and I'm going to eat it in her honor. Today is my birthday. I'm not going to do much. I'm just probably going to go to dinner with my wife and kids. I'll save the cornbread and yams for tomorrow for Sunday dinner. I'm just going to go hang out with my family and my kids and enjoy my day, and just be happy that I've seen another full year. And I want you all to do the same. I don't care if it's your birthday or not. Enjoy the day. Be happy that you've seen it, because today is Saturday. Tomorrow is not today. Tomorrow is a completely different day, and it's not promised. Enjoy your day. Enjoy every single day. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy every moment of this crazy, crazy life, because we only got one. I don't care how many days or years you get. You only got one chance at this, right? So enjoy it. Have all the fun you can, and be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I'm going to get out of here. We're going to close today's episode by saying the same thing we all say. God bless. I love you, and I truly do love you. And peace. If you like what you're hearing, then by all means, do check back in every Friday at 5 p.m. on Spotify and follow us on Instagram at _Twee'quel_pod. And by all means, go back and listen to the older episodes and see where we came from and see where we're at, because we started from the bottom, but now we're here. I'm Jake Alexander signing off. See you later.